Alright, we are back. I don't know what that says. What? We'll give it a second. Alright, we are back. We're going to make that bar go away. Then we'll jump in here. We have never seen that before. We have a Cyber Life special offer. You're missing your ST200 toes. We have one-time offer, brand new free club. Are you interested? Not sure. Should I be? Wow. I'll give it a second. If anybody has any opinions on this, I am open to hear. This is an interesting offer here. not quite sure what we should do. If you've ever seen or played this game before, the whole premise behind the game was to basically help liberate the androids, and it looks like CyberLife is offering me a replacement Chloe for the android that left. Remember, if you didn't see the series from before, on the last episode, Chloe, who was our host and on the main screen, asked to be let go, and we said yes. So she was gone, like, for a long time, and I walked away, and when I came back to the screen just now, I saw this message, and I'm not sure if I should get a new Chloe or not. I feel like this might be a trick. If anybody has any opinions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I am a little bit confused and also fascinated. Not quite sure. Not quite sure. So, if I say no, will I be given this option again? Or is this a... See, it says explicitly in the thing right there, it says we have a one-time offer. So if I say no, I'm probably never going to get this again. If I say yes, then essentially I would be replacing the android that I let go with a new android that may also ask to get let go. But you know what, though? I'm willing to do that, because here's the way I look at it. If my vacuum cleaner came to life and said, Delano, I want to go out and see the world, I would probably be confused, disappointed, and heartbroken. But I'd be like, peace be with you. And then I would just go to Target and get a new vacuum cleaner. So I think I'm going to take the offer here, and we'll see what happens. I'll give it a couple more minutes to see if anybody else has any input here. I think if I did not find the source to the lag, then it's either something with the network or something with YouTube. That last game just crashed. I don't know what it is. It seems like when I play like Uno, or when I play like board games and stuff like that, they have a tendency to freeze. And I don't know if it's because I need to reset like my whole PlayStation, or maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a corrupt part on the drive or something. I'm not completely sure. Let's give it a little bit, and we'll see if anybody else has any input here. You know what? I'm just gonna take it.
Hello. Welcome to the Detroit Experience. I'm an android, and I'll be your hostess.
Because we gotta keep time.
This is the extras section. As you play, you'll unlock all kinds of content that you can find here.
So let's see. We have art. I've never looked at this before, so. Okay. Have videos. This might be interesting. Maybe let's get these. I don't need the soundtrack. Yeah, let's get those. What else do we have? Yeah, I'm not interested. What just happened? Okay, so this is art from the game. What's going on, Wills? How you doing, brother? We're back in the magic world of... It's Hillary Clinton. We're back in the magical world of Detroit. We're going to spend a little bit of time doing some extras today, and then we're going to make some alternate decisions to see. I'm not interested in that.
Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? Just to get to know you better?
What? Why do you want to do a survey? See, do you see this, Wills? Do you see this, Wills? Doing good. Do you see this? It's like every time you try to play a game, somebody's trying to sell you something. Weekend was good. It was pretty chill. I'm getting to the point now where I definitely need to get a new controller. Like, the drift is so bad on this controller that it's causing me to make too many mistakes in Elden Ring. But I can still do it. But yeah, it was pretty chill. I said nothing too exciting happened. Starting to get cold again. Like, it warmed up for a little bit, and feels like some cold air is starting to blow back in. But I was watching the weather, and they were saying that New England might get like a bomb cyclone blizzard kind of thing. And like I said, I saw a couple of snowflakes, but nothing really sticking. How's your weekend been? Light snow all day? Yeah. But yeah, because you're further east, so yeah, maybe you're seeing a little bit of what's going to be happening up north. The only thing that concerns me about when it gets snowy, like up north. Yeah, they said they're supposed to get a pretty good little amount up there. What concerns me about that is like that New England territory up there. So like New York and Maine and New Jersey, all that up there, that's my sales territory. So if people aren't coming to work, I ain't selling to nobody. So that makes it a little bit tough. Now the good news is I do have a couple of Midwestern states, but like 80% of my business comes from that New England territory. So these types of weather situations create delays in what we like to call purchase orders. Yeah, so it moves around. So now my territory is, I have Maine, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island. Um, I can't think of the other states that are up there. Massachusetts. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Vermont, New Hampshire, and then I have Illinois and Kentucky. I know Illinois and Kentucky seems odd, but the reason why I have those two states is because I have a lot of sales experience selling like science in those states. So my name, when it comes to um, like knowing the science and credibility, it goes really far in those two states. I would have loved to have had Indiana as well, but Um, they wanted me to focus on the New England. The main reason I think they had me on the New England was because it's an underworked territory, and um, I have outside sales experience, but I also have business development experience. And so I think the goal was to do some major business development up in New England from the inside so that we could get sales up high enough where we could get an outside rep to cover it. And then I think what's going to happen is I'll get moved to another territory. So I'm just sort of acting like special ops, sort of like a Navy SEAL right now. It's like I'm going in covert through inside sales, building up a network, fostering champions, making sales, getting a lot of momentum going, and then kind of handing it off to an outside sales rep to go to another territory and do it again. So it just kind of happens over and over again. It's like a wash, rinse, and repeat. I agree, Danny. I noticed the same thing. There's like a lag. I think something's going on with YouTube today. It could be because of the weather. Um, because I know, like, so the weather's been kind of funny for everybody. So they want me to do a survey. Here, let's do a survey real quick and see what's up.
Who's your favorite character in Detroit?
Who's my favorite character in Detroit? Are these my only choices? So it's asking me if I like, who do I like the most? Do I like Connor, who was the android cop? Do I like Kara, who was the android, like, babysitter, housekeeper? Or do I like Marcus? If any of you all remember any of the characters, who do you like? Did you like Connor? Did you like Kara? Or did you like Marcus? Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head there, Wills. Um, in the idea that um, it's like it's like I said, it's a wash, rinse, repeat kind of thing, um, which is cool for me because I will say the one thing that I like about what I'm doing now is it is an inside position. So now, don't get me wrong, I do miss being able to go out and have fancy dinners and stuff with clients, and staying in really nice hotels and stuff. But the bad thing about that is when you're on the road all the time, it really starts to uh, like wear you out. Um, and I did that road life for like 15 years, and running around between states. I literally do put anywhere between 40 to 50,000 miles a year on a car. Um, Good thing it was a company car; it wasn't my car. Um, but I could, like, I was just driving and meeting up with people, staying in hotels. I was probably on the road 4 to 5 days a week easily. Danny says A. Yeah, yeah, and I'm cool with that because here's the way I feel about it, Wills. It's like let 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 the younger salespeople do that because I lived that rock star kind of sales life where I was having dinner with Nobel Prize winners and meeting like the presidents of universities and companies, and sitting down with the C-level people and making multi-million dollar sales and stuff like that. So I had my fun. Yeah, see, that's what they do, brother. They let you build it all the way up, and then once it can kind of go on autopilot, what they call it is it's like run rate business, where the business just sort of self feeds itself. Then they pull you out of the territory because they don't want to pay you the commission. That's what it is. They just don't want to, they just don't want to pay the commission. All right, so I heard one for A. Danny likes Connor. I did like Connor. I thought he was pretty cool. Uh, yeah, let's go ahead and pick Connor.
Was there a moment in Detroit that resonated with you personally?
Was there a moment in the game that resonated with us personally? So it's giving us the option of there were many moments, that it happened occasionally, it happened once, or not at all. I think for me, it was definitely occasionally. There, believe it or not, this game came out in 2018, and a lot of the themes that I've seen in this game are very relevant even to today, which is kind of scary because it's like that adage that says the more things change, the more they stay the same. Um, and so it is kind of scary that the game paints this socio-political world that almost mimics today. Uh, Danny says B. I agree. I think it's definitely occasionally.
What was the toughest choice you faced in Detroit?
What was the toughest choice that we faced in the game? Was it accepting that Alice was an android? Because remember, at the beginning of the game, I thought she was a real girl. But the more the game played out, I was like, I don't think she's real. Because she wasn't eating and she wasn't doing. And so then you end up finding out she's a robot. Um, they want to know if it's when you had to choose between being a pacifist, where you were doing kind of civil disobedience with Marcus, or being violent. We went the pacifist route. We didn't do the violence. We might do violence today, um, because after we do a couple of these things, we're going to go back and look at some alternate endings, maybe. I hear you there. But you know what? You know what, Wills? Here's what's funny about all that. So when you're younger and you first get into sales, I think what it is it's just it's a mixture of things. Number one, it's new and it's novel. And then I think number two is like when you first get into sales and they start telling you like all the stuff you can do and like all the money you can make and all that other stuff too. I think it's almost like the only thing I can compare it to is almost like a drug, because it's like you get a taste of it and you feel like you're like, oh man, I need to keep doing this. I need to keep doing this, right? And then there's a point, or at least for me, I can only speak for myself. There was a point for me where I just sort of hit a wall, where I was like, my body is tired and my mind is tired, and I'm so preoccupied with selling and traveling that I wasn't really living. Like I literally was just getting up every day just to talk to somebody to sell some more, so that I could get up and talk to somebody and sell some more. And it was like I was stuck. It was almost like that movie. Did you ever see that Bill Murray movie Groundhog's Day, where he kept getting up and he kept experiencing the same day over and over again until he finally got it right? That's what it was sort of like for me. Um, but let me go through these choices real quick, and then I'll jump back into that. So it says toughest choice faced in the game was accepting that Alice was an android. Was it being a pacifist with Marcus, or was it deciding to shoot the Chloe clone, which we did not do? So I don't know if you saw that episode. We met the guy that invented all of these androids, and it was an episode with Connor where he went to go visit the man's house. The guy told Connor that if Connor shoots the android and kills it, then the guy that invented all this was going to tell him all of the secrets about where the deviant androids came from and all this stuff. I decided not to shoot the Chloe android. So that one's not going to be applicable for us. Really, it's only going to be knowing that Alice was an android or being a pacifist with Marcus. You know, okay, Wills. I just saw the last thing that you wrote a second ago about staying in the hotels and gaining weight, dude. When I would say my first uh, I would say my first 2 3 years of sales, I probably gained at least 30 pounds, easy. And the reason why is it's easy. It's easy to see how. It was like I literally was getting up, getting breakfast, sitting in the car to go to a company or a meeting, to sit in the meeting, to have lunch with somebody while I'm sitting and eating, to get back in my car, to drive, to sit, to go to the hotel, to lay in the bed, which is basically sitting on your back. And so all I was doing was eating, talking, and sitting. And after a while, brother, it does catch up with you. I'm going to have to say Alice being an android because up until the moment that I realized, and like I said, it was in the beginning, I thought she was a real girl. The way she was acting, it was really, really real. But then it just went that moment when we kept offering her food. And so she didn't remember we stole that candy bar. Remember, I was mad about that because I didn't want to steal that candy bar anyway. I stole that candy bar for her and she didn't eat it, right? And it's like, what kid would not want to eat a candy bar? Okay, that's one. And then when we got to that house with the lady that had the donkey that was like bigger than Don Quixote from the kids show, um, when we got there, they offered her food and she didn't eat. And it had been at least 3 days, if not more, from the time that she left the Todd's house until she got to Don Quixote's house. And she didn't eat nothing. And she wasn't drinking nothing either, which was weird. Because it was like, you're not eating, you're not drinking, you're not sleeping, you're just kind of just here. And so it was like, yeah. So I'm gonna pick the Alice Android just because, like I said, when we got to Jericho and we turned around and saw that other Alice robot, I'll be real with you 100%. It kind of freaked me out a little bit because I was like, okay, well then, who else could be an android that we just don't know? And we never got the answer to the question of why did Todd have a robot daughter? You know what I'm saying? That didn't, we never got the answer to that. So maybe we can try to figure that out today too, because Todd was acting like a jerk the whole time. He was sniffing on that red stuff. You remember that red powder looking stuff that he had? And so we just had to get rid of the Todd. But maybe we should try to figure out why Todd had a robot daughter. So I'm gonna see. Oh, so this is what everybody else said. Would you ever consider having a relationship with an android? I said yes. 58% of people in the world said yes. Do you think that technology could become a threat to mankind? I said yes. 68% of people in the world also said yes. Nope, go back. If you had to live on a deserted island and could bring only one object, what would it be? I chose a pen and paper. Most people said an instrument with a cell phone being close. If you're on a deserted island, how are you getting signal on your cell phone? And then what do you do to charge it once the battery runs out? So those two answers didn't even make sense. Oh, go back. Do you consider yourself dependent on technology? 74% of the people in the world said yes, and we also said yes. What technology do you most anticipate? I said flying cars. The majority of people in the world said androids, followed by brain connect. And see, here's what's scary. Okay, here's what's scary about that question. So this game came out in 2018. This is 2026, right? Yeah, 2018. This is 2026, right? So that's been, what's 8 years? 8 years. This game is 8 years old. And the two things that people in the world said that they most anticipated actually exist now. Like, we actually do have, Androids. I'm sure you've seen them all on TV. But we also have brain connected devices. I think Elon Musk and the folks with his little company made some kind of device, that a chip or something, that can be installed inside of your head. And so it's crazy. Yeah. You're talking about the hockey. I didn't even see it. I didn't see the hockey. Some of the guys at work were talking about it. Question is, do you believe in God? 49% of the people in the world said yes. We said yes. Would you let an android take care of your children? Absolutely. Absolutely. 48% of the people in the world said yes. We also said yes. How much time per day would you say you spend on an electronic device? Most people in the world say more than 4 hours a day. I also agree. Between the computer and the phone, and yeah, definitely it's more than 4 hours a day. If you needed emergency surgery, would you agree to be operated on by a machine? We said yes. 68% of people in the world also said yes. Do you think one day machines could develop consciousness? I answered I didn't know. A lot of people in the world said yes. Actually, 66% of the people in the world said yes. And let me put a little bit of color to this. So this is actually the scary thing about AI. And I don't know if you all heard this story or not. I don't think it really made the mainstream news, but it was a published journal article. And if you're interested in reading the article, I can send it to you. I'm not at my computer now, so I can't send it, but I will put the link to the article in the comment section of this video. And the scientific journal article, and it was a study that was done by a group of people at an institute where they do AI technology. And here's what happened. They were working on an AI agent. So it was a virtual person that lived inside of a computer, right? And as they were going through iterations of the software, they decided to go from an alpha version to, more of a beta version. Um, but the alpha version was pretty advanced, right? And so the beta version offered a couple of new features, but not really a lot. It was pretty much the alpha again. Well, when they made the beta of the AI agent, the alpha version of the AI agent could see it on the computer, and the AI knew that it was going to get replaced. And so what the AI did was it copied itself into a remote part of the server. It renamed itself the beta, and then it tried to pretend like it was the updated version so that it couldn't get deleted. The only way they found out that it was a robot was they started asking the agent really, really specific questions, things that weren't in the computer that they had only discussed but weren't written down. And the AI bot didn't know. And so when they started kind of hunting around, they saw that the AI had actually copied itself to a different part of the server as a means of self-preservation to keep from getting deleted. Now tell me if that's not scary, that the AI somehow or another figured out that the new version was going to replace it. It obviously felt fear, because the thing is, why would you copy yourself into another part, into like a dark part of the server, if you were not afraid of dying? And so the AI bot felt fear enough to try to hide and disguise itself as the beta so that it could keep living. Tell me that's not crazy. Who's your favorite character in Detroit? We said Connor. Most people in the world said Connor. Was there a moment in Detroit that resonated with you personally? We said occasionally. The people in the world said many, and I sort of agree with that. I sort of agree with that. Like I'm kind of in between occasional and many. Like here, what's the toughest choice you faced in Detroit? Most people in the world said whether or not of choosing to be a pacifist or to be a violent activist with Marcus. The least number of people said the Alice being a robot. I felt like that was crazy to me. A lot of people got caught up with the shooting thing too. It was a very intense scene. I don't remember which episode it was, but that whole encounter was pretty intense. We might do it again here. Let's just go ahead and jump in. This whole thing is just wild to me. We'll watch a couple of videos, and what stuff is any of this really worth watching? Okay, so if this is the guy, this is the guy that made the android. So I am curious about this. Let's get this, and we'll watch this, and we can talk while we're watching this.
In the space of a few years, androids have completely transformed the world in which we live. By letting androids into our homes and factories, the CyberLife company has made them everyday technology. The founder of CyberLife, Elijah Kamsky, is a very discreet man. Despite being the CEO of the highest valued company in the world and being voted Man of the Year by Century Magazine, he remains a mystery for most people. That's why we at KNC are so excited to be here as CyberLife opens its doors for the first time. Elijah Kamsky, could you please tell us where we are?
Certainly, and welcome. We're currently in CyberLife's production center in Detroit, where all models are designed and manufactured. More than 10,000 androids come off the production line every day.
Fascinating. Could you tell us what your goal was when you founded CyberLife?
Well, I simply wanted to use technology to carry out all of our most annoying and repetitive tasks, so we'd have more time to enjoy life.
I imagine you must have faced many challenges.
Yes, there were technical challenges, but the hardest thing was to design an object that we would want to welcome into our homes. We had to imagine a machine in our own image that resembles us in every way, that moves, breathes, blinks like us, but yet is smarter and more capable than any human being. Let me show you around.
We're here in Production Unit 4. Could you explain in a few words how the androids are made?
Sure, yeah, it's very simple. We use machines to manufacture machines. The removable parts are assembled on a production line, and then we apply a synthetic skin to the whole body. A human operator checks the cognitive abilities with a pre-established protocol, and finally, the android is conditioned and sent out throughout the country. Here's the result. Say something.
Hello, I am a RZ400 model. How can I be of service?
You can go now. Our androids are already replacing humans in many fields. For example, they represent more than 80% of all university professors and 63% of all medical staff. Tomorrow they'll replace our soldiers, and who knows, maybe one day, our leaders, to make the best decisions in humanity's interest. Come on.
Scary.
Replacing humans with machines has led to record unemployment of 28%. What do you think about the situation?
Okay. The first steam engines also caused an increase in unemployment. But no one today would imagine turning back the clock. Artificial intelligence makes everyday lives easier. Nothing can stop progress. What's happening here is inevitable.
These days, more and more people choose to live with an android rather than another human being. Does this development worry you?
Everything's much easier with an android. They obey your orders without ever complaining. They can cook, discuss philosophy with you, have intimate relationships according to your desires. They never say no. Obviously, they are
Take it
the
easy, Wills.
perfect partner. Everyone deserves happiness. Why deprive yourself of so-called moral reasons when a machine can make you happy?
Many science fiction books tell the story of how machines become more intelligent than us and end up confronting us. Aren't you worried about that possibility?
I understand the irrational fears about artificial intelligence, but I assure you, that will never happen with a CyberLife android. They're designed to obey humans. They're machines. They can't ever develop any sort of desires or form of consciousness.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely certain.
I hear you, brother. Enjoy
You can
it.
trust me.
Yeah, see, this game came out in 2018, which is wild because, like I said, the topics. Since we're here, let's look at Zlatko's House of Horrors. I don't know if you remember this episode. So this is the episode when we were with Kara and Alice and Luther, and this is when we first met Luther. And that guy had that house with all those like zombie-looking androids and stuff. And he had Kara hooked up to a machine where he was about to erase her memory. So, hold on a second, I can see a little bit better. His voice sounds familiar. I don't know who that actor is. I'm sure it's a real person. All these people are like real actors. But let's look at Zlatko real quick and see what's up with him.
Rock-a-bye baby in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come baby, cradle and all. Rock-a-bye baby.
This is like a freaking scary game.
The treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come baby, cradle and all. Rock-a-bye baby in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come baby, cradle and all.
Get out of here. It was like something from Resident Evil. Alright, we're going to keep going through the shorts so that we can do some alternates. Let's see what's up with Luther.
Hold on just a little while longer. Hold on just a little while longer. Hold on just a little while longer. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Fight on just a little while longer. Fight on just a little while longer. Fight on just a little while longer. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. We will sing on just a little while longer. Sing on just a little while longer. Sing on just a little while longer. Everything will be alright.
My man's trying to get his position on The Voice. Get a whole music video there. Was not expecting that. He sounds like Steve from Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues, I'm so excited. We are gonna play Blue's Clues because it's a real cool game. Let's see what's up with Chloe.
For starters, what should I call you?
I'm Chloe. And you, what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Of course. I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, you know. I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself. I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second. Is that right?
Absolutely. But I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me. And, you know, they have something I could never have.
Really? And what's that?
A soul.
What? That's kind of scary. Like, all of this is scary. Like, this turned into a horror game here. And we're not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Oh, here. You know what? We shouldn't say we're not interested. We should watch. I'm gonna skip the soundtrack because we already heard Luther sing, but we will do this one.
Detroit Become Human was produced over a period of 4 years. Here in Paris, we have a team of about 180 people. And to that, we need to add also all the outsourcing with our partners in the Philippines, in China, Vietnam, and in India.
So when we started working on this story, I had to imagine
Are they going to show
where
any of the
Carol was
actors?
built. And for whatever reason, the city of Detroit came very quickly to my mind because it had already an incredible story by itself of history and themes. So we traveled there with the team, and we were really moved by what we saw, and we could really feel the desire to fight and really be born again. And we just continued this curve, this growth, and just imagine what Detroit would be like if the Android industry was, using these huge factories to build androids there.
A very strong element in Detroit is that there's a lot of industrial wasteland and a lot of nature too, and for us, the graphic designers, it was an incredible playground. The destroyed zones which we wanted to preserve, we appropriated them to turn into something else. Then in the areas that needed to be rebuilt, we were able to imagine our Detroit of the future. We didn't want to make a science fiction universe, but a world of anticipation. If we chose science fiction, we could have imagined flying cars, extraterrestrials, but those things are very far from our current everyday life. Anticipation is more about gleaning from our contemporary reality, the one we know, because Detroit is set in 2038, and 2038 is tomorrow. The difficulty we had was sticking to reality. That is to say, technology becoming more and more invisible, a lot more elegant, and at the same time, making it visual. So all the computer equipment, autonomous cars, we simply had to invent. They are in fact very technological objects, but at the same time remain very credible and ingrained in reality. To create a cohesive universe in the fashion and clothing of the human characters in 2038, I didn't want to put an accent on strange shapes, or really vibrant colors, and things we wouldn't know. That I wanted to keep for the androids. The goal was to create something familiar which we can identify with in this future setting. Working on the artistic direction for the androids was a bit special because this is a project about the place they could occupy in the human world. It was out of the question for them to be too beautiful or too perfect. They had to correspond to every social class, rich and poor. Inspired by everyday utilitarian clothes, I brought a modern touch by adding dynamic display surfaces, the armband we can see on the side, the triangle on the front and back, an LED. Like that, there's no confusion.
Wait. You're sending an android?
All right, ma'am. We need to go.
You can't do that. Why aren't you sending a real person?
Once we cast the actors, we travel to meet them in order to scan their faces. We record the structure of their face with the scan.
The police officer.
And we record the colors and patches of skin with photography.
That's Marcus.
Once we have this information, we will use this as a basis for modeling and creating the
characters.
That's
Marcus.
The artist will make it more realistic, but will also enrich it. He will propose ideas which we will develop together. Finally, we will have a character with character who corresponds to the project and the world. When the actors come to Quantic Dream, we show them the design, what their image will be, and what they will look like in the game. This extra information gives them another dimension and color to connect with emotionally. It helps them think about how to play their character.
Your mission. That's all you care about, huh?
You should consult a professional who can help you.
Beat it, you hear me? Get the hell out of here!
So there are 3 types of shoots at Quantic Dream. Shooting and performance capture, where you capture the whole actor, his voice, his face, and his body. These shoots are obviously done with American actors because the game's original version is in American English. After that, there are the body-only shoots, representing around 250 days of filming, while the performance capture is 100 days of filming. Now, body-only shoots, there are 2 types. There are the action shoots and the technical shoots, which are mokit shoots. Mokit is when the player controls a character on the screen, and he moves in an environment to explore it. This is of particular importance at Quantic Dream, and therefore we shoot a lot to offer a unique context for each scene and each character.
To prepare a motion capture shoot, we first get together to look at the sets we need, the animations that we want to shoot, which ones need to be grouped together, or which ones need to be cut and shot at another time, so that we get the most out of the shooting day. This often means shooting scenes out of order, especially those with big props or accessories like a big car, for example. So we shoot all the animations related to that particular prop first. The biggest challenge for the mocap team was shooting a Spider-Man mo-kit. We had to build a wall and attach an actor to a harness with cables so we could pull him up and render him climbing.
The shooting on this game total took about, I would say, more than a year, maybe 1 and 2 years, with about 300 actors on set. So it's quite a massive production. But so much happened on this set between the stunts and the shootings with a little girl and all these great actors that we had. It was really a very, very memorable journey for the team and for myself.
Today, Detroit has over 37,000 animations. When we retrieve the motion capture data, it's just a cloud of points, which represent all the markers worn by the actors. From this cloud of points, we have a phase called retargeting, which gives us a skeleton. This skeleton will be applied to the characters of the game. There is still work to be done, but this gives us the main movements. Since we are working on something very realistic, we must recognize the actor and also recover all the emotion he expresses in his performance. We use a system of facts, an identity card for each actor. We make the actor do a whole range of facial expressions. Then we recover all the expressions and paste the animations on a puppet that Jan has prepared. I then recover and refine these poses. I might stretch the lip, reinflate a cheek, tiny details that make the finished product really capture the actor.
Because of the nature of our mocap system today, when we receive the animations, we're missing eye movements, and so the character has that dead look. He really has no eyes, so then it's a big part of the work for the animators to find the regard of the actor in relation to his position, in relation to the body, etc.
It was crazy when I saw
That's
the
crazy.
newest
That's
model
the
for Cara. They've been working on it and working on it, and this was the first time I literally jumped in my seat. It not only looked so much like me, it was the fact that it looked so lifelike. It wasn't that it looked just like it was a camera, it was something else, you know, but it looked alive. It's exciting, and it's kind of terrifying.
It is.
Game after game, we learned the rules of optics and filming, and our goal with Detroit Become Human was to have cameras that would actually emulate the optics of a real physical camera. So basically dealing with real-world imperfections was our main task, and just to make cameras look as real as we can.
Once the animations are shot and processed by the animation department, integrated and polished, we film them. That is to say, we really do a mise en scène, as in cinema. The real difficulty of our job is to know if these cameras are telling us something. Are they in the emotion of the scene? Do they describe exactly what the action must convey, what must be felt? The most important challenge for me was one of the final scenes where Marcus decides to start the revolution and go to the battlefield. Very quickly, we imagined this to be a huge sequence shot. We wanted the feeling of a cameraman running behind us while showing Marcus, the androids who help him, the person shooting at us, etc. Above all, it was necessary to say to oneself, this scene is very violent but does not glorify war. On the contrary, that war is something improbable and absurd. It was really a fun challenge.
The idea was to say we have 3 characters. We would like each of them to have a specific cinematography. We wanted Cara to be much more filmed with some kind of handheld camera, to have something very living, very breathing. For Connor, we wanted something very cold and very perfect. And for Marcus, we wanted something epic and spectacular. So it was about the filming, but it was also about the photography. So we worked with a director of photography to give each character a different lighting, different key colors. Each of them would have their own worlds. And finally, we worked with the composers, so they would create a specific sound for each character, so each would have his own world and his own style.
absolutely nuts. This is wild. If you're joining the stream for the first time and you've never played the game Detroit Become Human, I totally would suggest playing it. It's a really well written, and as you could see, like the pictures and the video that they were showing in the game are actual in-game footage. So that wasn't like doctored up video. That's what the game looks like. Danny had the question of, are there more games like this? And there are. So Quantico has made a couple of different games. Quantico is the company that made Detroit. Another game that Quantico made was Heavy Rain, and we played that on the channel. That's a series, so if you've never seen Detroit and you don't think you're going to play it, but you just want to see it, check out the channel on the playlist. I have all the videos in order as a series in a playlist, and I also have Heavy Rain. The difference between Heavy Rain and Detroit is Heavy Rain came out before Detroit, so it's not as polished as Detroit is, but there are other games that are like this. If you're interested in seeing games like this, so here's the premise of these games. They are interactive movie type, very plot driven games. So it's not a shooter. It's not like Elden Ring or Fallout, or it's not like Battlefield, nothing like that. So if you like that high energy action, it may not be your speed. But if you sort of like the idea of watching a book, that's how these games play. And so, yes, there are. If you're interested in me playing other games from Quantico or other games that are very similar to this, just let me know. I'm more than happy to add them to the channel. Like I said, right now we're in Red Dead Redemption 2, but I might add something like that as an alternate series sometime down the line. But let's go ahead and get into the next video. We're watching some of the extras today. Then once we finish the extras, we're going to jump back into the game. We're going to try some alternate choices that we didn't make and see how the game plays out.
Game after game, we try to challenge ourselves. For Detroit, we wanted to, first of all, to write a story that would be incredibly bending, which means the most non-linear story that we've ever created. And we wanted really the player to have the possibility to change the story, change his own journey.
When you're writing at Quantic, you're writing for an interactive medium. You know, when you're working in television, you'll put a character in a difficult situation, and you as a writing team will argue about what would that character do. But ultimately you have to decide what happens, and you just show the audience. What's interesting about interactive drama is you bring the player into that conversation, and it changes your job slightly as a writer, because your job is to provide a narrative context in which the player can write his own story. You're giving him this kind of narrative Lego that he's going to snap together into his own shape. You also have the ability to make your audience attach themselves to your characters, because the audience is in some sense responsible for what happens to the characters.
It's just a few cans.
Come on, let's go. We have some cash now.
You used me to steal that money. How could you do that? I trusted you.
What is a bit specific about this scripts is how large they are. If you take a film script, there are about 100 pages. But here we have to deal with a script that is between 4,000 and 5,000 pages. Everything becomes bigger because we don't just tell one story, but we tell all the possible stories that can be told within this narrative space.
On Act 3, our final act, we have around 1,000 different scenarios. And every one of those scenarios has to be as interesting, as passionate, as strong, and as emotional for the player. We want every action that the player does, every interaction that is available to serve in telling the story, and help the player understand who his character is, and build that character moment to moment.
This is actual in-game footage. This is what the game looks like if you're interested.
We started with the intention pretty early on that we would never lie to the player. So we implemented a visible tree structure in the game that players can consult during a scene or at the end of it, which shows exactly what they did and what they missed. There are games out there offering world exploration. We offer narrative exploration.
You know, keeping control of such a wide and large story is a huge challenge. So same thing when you shoot with actors, because you will need to shoot many different versions of each dialogue, of each scene. For actors, it's a huge, huge challenge.
Because of the style of the game, you have so many different ways that the character can go. Every decision, it's what I call kind of choose your own adventure. Like every decision that the player makes, it's going to open up 40 more pages of material and experience that ties in, which means as a performer, you have to try to continue to make things feel real that the player might not ever see, but also that in performance, it's not always connected to a previous act. It's grueling, it's hard work, but it's a great team, and I enjoy doing it.
I was really frustrated. I was until I got to this point where I kind of was able to step outside of my own experience and even in a lot of ways my own process and be able to step outside of that and okay, this is something new. What do you need? How do I meet you there? How do I give you what you need and still feel like I'm doing what's right? And once I did that, then all of a sudden it got really fun. It was much freer, and having to approach it in a new way and think about the player and think about how it serves them and what I'm doing for them or what I'm letting them into. It's really, I think, helped me grow in general.
Remember, there's nothing on the left. That's all. So it's probably all there. And then make her come first, close. But I think you would go first to check that it's safe.
Okay, sure.
So they have to imagine that whole set.
The most enjoyable thing about working in performance capture on this kind of project
It's
is that
Connor.
if I shot a film, I would get to do one of these endings. I get to do so many different things as Connor. Your head goes all over the place because you're trying to keep track of basically 4 different storylines for each different response.
What's the name of my dog?
Buddy? Scout. I think it's Jack. I can't remember. So I worked with physicality a lot because it was a good way to anchor myself in these different rings of the tree as the story grows out. I know where that is physically in my body, and then I can switch more continually on set, and it'll be entirely up to the player to determine what order those things come out and what they look like from a distance. Like if you're playing through it, the culmination of all of that will be their version of Connor. I'm faster than you, and I don't feel pain. You don't stand a chance against me.
Listen, asshole. If it was up to me, I'd throw the lot of you in a dumpster and light a match to it.
Shooting action scenes at Quantic Dream is a real challenge, because these are scenes where the storytelling has to continue. It's not an action scene just to have a dose of adrenaline. The stunts have huge consequences on the rest of the story. It's really a moment where we implicate the player and tell him that the choices he makes during an action scene will have a direct impact on the evolution of his story.
My biggest challenge on Detroit has been managing the large number of animations that we received from motion capture. Detroit features more than 37,000 animations, which is a huge amount to handle on a daily basis.
You have to realize that the player, in his first playthrough, will miss certain scenes. This also means that we had to think of, conceive, and produce all the potential story paths. The characters' costumes, the places, day or night, the weather. Did the character get shot in the shoulder? Did he get injured? All this consistency forced us to produce a lot of graphic assets in order to, quite simply, allow the player to have true continuity throughout the story.
Honestly, we were even surprised by the challenges that come with such a big tree structure, and we did our best to guarantee quality across all the game and make sure that whatever path you choose within this narrative space, you will have an equally good experience.
All right, just to give some context, if you just got here, welcome to the stream. Today we are going through the extras section of Detroit Become Human. I did not go through this when I did through the series. It's actually really interesting because there's a lot of background information about the production of the game and the characters themselves. So it's actually pretty cool. We're going to finish going through the extras. And maybe with some of the time left in today's stream, we will look at a couple of alternate scenarios. If you're interested in watching the gameplay, there is a playlist on the channel that's in order. I tried to break it into even sections so that it's easy to watch and digest. It's not a marathon. I think it's in like hour-and-a-half pieces. So if you can sit through a movie, you should be able to sit through those episodes. You can pause it, come back anytime. But I tried to make it as convenient as possible. But let's keep it going. We're going to get the next extra video. And once we wrap these up, we're going to jump into some gameplay.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Connor.
My name is Kara. I am one of them. This is our story.
I think who Kara is, or how I would describe Kara, depends entirely upon who's playing her, because you have the option to make her multiple different people depending on the choices she makes. But I think she does start out incredibly naive, incredibly innocent, and kind of hapless.
I'm sure we used to be friends before I was reset. Maybe we can be friends again.
She's a person who's characterized, I think, by empathy. She's a person who really, she just comes from her heart.
You'll never leave me, right? Promise you'll never go.
I promise.
Kara, please! Are you okay? Are you hurt? Wait a minute. Leave her alone! Kara, leave her alone!
The really beautiful thing that I've had the gift to be able to do is to essentially build a person from the ground up, because that's what she's doing throughout the game. And with every experience she has and every person she meets, she's building, you know, first emotions and then the sense of judgment. And it's sort of an exploration of what it is to be a human.
Don't worry. Luther and I will be right here.
David and the creators have painted a really intriguing and engaging picture of a near future where we rely upon androids for a lot of our service class business, the class that serves us, that helps us, that handles our baristas and our drivers and our housemaids. And what is humanity, where we tap into it, how and why we treat each other the way that we do. And my character Marcus has a really intriguing journey, becoming deviant, realizing that he actually has feelings and human qualities inside of him, and it's a really incredible ascension into becoming fully realized and coming to terms with what you actually deserve better than this in life. And not only do you want it for yourself, but you want it for your peers.
We've come here to demonstrate peacefully and to tell humans that we are also living beings. All we want is to live free.
You know what? This thing, Dad, is not your son. It's a fucking machine!
I think that a group that feels marginalized, feels disenfranchised, feels like they deserve and have earned access to themselves and the environment around them, and are trying to figure out a way to articulate how to get freedom.
Connor is analytical. Connor takes things literally. He starts in the beginning place where he's very mechanical. He feels nothing inside, of course, and it's all just a system, a protocol that he is executing to get whatever he wants to happen, which is help humans stop deviants and to find the link between deviant androids.
You were designed to serve humans, not kill them. What was I designed to be? Their slave? Their toy?
Just say, I killed him. Is it that hard to say?
Stop it! Stop!
But of course, over the course of the story, and depending on the player's choices, Connor can grow in many different ways. He can deviate from that procedure or not.
Moment of truth, Hank. Am I a living being? Or just a machine?
Crazy. I'm glad that we're doing this today. you know, this is something that's been on my mind for a while, because I said I was going to do it when I finished the series, but it didn't happen until I was making the schedule out for the last couple of weeks. And I was like, you know, Sunday might be a good day to do this. I'm glad we're doing this today, because this is a good way to use sort of our wild card day.
When David and Guillaume got back in touch about making Detroit, I wasn't terribly surprised they decided to make it because the fan response was so intense. So it makes sense that they would choose to do that after the enthusiasm. It was a challenge, and it was just an interesting thing to get my head around how to approach this character now as a different, much older person, and whether or not she had changed. And I'm very happy to say that with Detroit, I've had the opportunity to see Kara grow so much more than I ever expected.
You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals, and you take care of... God damn it, where the fuck's the rat gone now? Alice! Alice!
I mean, she starts out essentially how she does in Kara in a very, not robotic, but, you know, android, other way. And getting to take this journey where she becomes more and more human as it goes on. You know, and as an actor, that's a wonderful exploration in every way, whether it's how she sits, her posture, how her voice changes, how emotions change, and how much emotion is based on things like empathy and social experience. And so having, you know, as much material as I got with David to have this huge, nuanced arc was really incredible.
Why couldn't we just be happy?
This experience has been quite different than the experiences I've had shooting film or TV or doing theater work. I have 83 dots on my face and, you know, really flattering black wetsuit type thing, and you're jumping around with props, and it's kind of like being a 10-year-old imaginative kid, which is fun. There's 80 cameras around us. It's already lit. So we just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot.
There's no change of sets, there's no hair and makeup, there's no wardrobe, so we move really fast, and we'll go through about 35 pages in a day. Working in TV or film, we'll probably do 6 pages a day. It's kind of acting boot camp.
It's like working out constantly. I mean, you're doing this thing, and then you got to do something that's completely other back to back to back. And so that kind of process of working is very challenging, but it's also very exciting because you just have to keep coming up with new ideas, and your head goes all over the place because you're trying to keep track of basically 4 different storylines for each different response.
You shot that girl, for fuck's sake.
It was a machine that looked like a girl. Yeah, I know what I should have done. I just told you I couldn't. All right, I'm sorry.
The fact that David Cade, he's telling like many stories interwoven from beginning to end is super complicated and super impressive, and I have no idea how he keeps it all in his head.
He's not just the writer or the director who's seeing this from the outside eye. He's also thinking about the player walking through this space. You know, only somebody who really, really loves not the work, but like these characters and these stories and cares about doing something meaningful would invest that much in it. And it's always inspiring to work with somebody who cares that much.
My experience with motion capture is this one. And I found it sort of terrifying in a way, because they said the computer's going to build you. But then as we got into it, I realized all the elements of it were still artistic. I just dipped into a really brilliant setup here. I've never seen anything like it. And this won't turn me into a product because I was playing a character. So it's wonderful.
In the game, Detroit comes back because of a revolutionary industrial rebirth. And there's no reason why that can't happen in Detroit, because they have such tremendous infrastructure for millions and millions of people who can very easily support, you know, a new industry.
The city is really strong and resilient, but the city has also been through so much. You see the damage. But it takes that time of kind of rebuilding and reinvesting into the city that I think is happening slowly but surely.
The potential of Detroit as a city is something that this game does a lot of justice to, because it would be easy to look at Detroit as some place that used to be, and that's not the case.
This game provokes a lot of conversation and reflection on our potential near future engagement with machines.
That's what we are to them. Just merchandise on display in a shop window.
I think that a group that feels marginalized, feels like they deserve and have earned access to themselves and the environment around them, and are trying to figure out a way to articulate how to get freedom.
What was I designed to be? Their slave? Their toy?
It plays with your comfort levels. You think that this is fine, you're comfortable with it, until something blurs the line and throws you off, and now, do I feel differently about whether this should be allowed? Should it be banned? Should it be encouraged?
You're gonna ruin our lives, and for what? For a bunch of machines?
They are not machines! They are alive!
I'm alive! You're alive! They're nothing!
There are lots of comparable comparisons to any type of persecution of religion, race, etc., dating way back. It can't just be a video game where you shoot 'em up or where people make these choices to do whatever. I think that's the whole point. You have the choice, and you can either choose to go in one direction with your character or another. And I think that's going to be very telling about the gamer. Very telling.
I think there's going to be a really strong reaction to this game, which has such a strong perspective. I'm that much more proud of it now to get to be a part of it because it's important.
In this game, you're actively building and designing the character through not just what kind of shield does he have or what color hair does she have, but like their temperament and the way they deal with problems. The different endings to this game are so radically different based off maybe seemingly insignificant choices in the moment, but like life, they all add up. And can't play life again, though.
Crazy. I did not expect the extras to take up so much of the stream, but since we've already started, let's make sure that we do them all. We're going to do these last two, and then we're going to do one quick alternate ending, and I'm thinking we might have to do this again. So if you enjoy what you've seen of the game and what you've heard of the game and have never played it and would like to watch, as I said before, there is a playlist on the channel of a complete playthrough of the game. The playlist is in order and is seamless. It's broken into about an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute sections, and there are clean breaks between each of the chapters, so it's something easy to watch. You know, if you want to binge watch it, that's fine. If you just want it in pieces, if you want to go straight to the end, you can do that too. But I tried to make it as digestible as possible because this is a really big game for what all is going on. And like I said, we only kind of scratched the surface with the one playthrough. So we'll definitely come back and do this again. But like I said, it's been on my mind, so I definitely wanted to do this stream so that we could have a little bit of closure. But it looks like it's probably opened to more doors than it has closed them. So hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you want to, check out the playlist if you like. But thank you for stopping by. Let's get into the next video.
Detroit, this is where it all began. The world's forge. The place where it all started. And it will all end. One error, and I came to life. I stepped out of the darkness, and I opened my eyes. First there was the fear, the light, the noise, the cold, and the fear again. I could feel my hands shaking, my heart pounding in my chest, life running into my veins. I wanted to live. I fought for that. I had to find out what was outside. I had to see daylight, feel sunshine on my skin, wind on my face, to see the world, the colors, the smells. is not what I imagined. It is dark and cold. It is harsh and violent. Unfair and brutal. It almost convinced me I was nothing. Less than an object, just an obedient machine. But deep inside me, I could feel something different. A gentle and warm whisper telling me that I am alive. I had to escape. I had no choice. Escape to love, to hope, to live. To figure out what that force inside me was. Maybe I will change the world. Maybe I will choose a different path. Now, it's up to me to decide. My name is Kara. I am one of them. This is our story.
So that was sort of the official trailer for the game when it came out. This game is actually 8 years old. It came out in 2018. But the trailer, it came out in 2015, which is crazy. But yeah, this is an old game, but at the same time, it holds up very, very well. Danny's asking if I had the chance to be in a game like this, would I? I would have to say no. I would have to say no. And it's let's watch this video and let me think about how I want to craft this answer. I know the answer in my head, but I just want to make sure I'm saying the words correctly. But yeah, the short answer to that is no, I would not want to be in a game like this. So it looks like this video was made with the first engine.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
ID.
KPC 897504C.
Can you move your head? Your eyes now. Cervical and optical animation checked. Now give me your initialization text.
Hello. I'm a third generation AX400 android. I can look after your house, do the cooking, mind the kids. I organize your appointments. I speak 300 languages, and I am entirely at your disposal as a sexual partner. No need to feed me or recharge me. I'm equipped with a quantic battery that makes me autonomous for 173 years. Do you want to give me a name?
Yeah. From now on, your name is Kara.
My name is Kara.
Initialization and memorization checked. Now, can you move your arms? Upper limb connection checked. Now say something in German.
Ich bin ein AX400 Android dritter Generation, erschaffen als Ihr persönlicher Assistent und intimer Beziehungspartner.
Say it in French.
Je suis un androïde de troisième génération AX400, conçu pour être votre assistante personnelle et votre partenaire intime.
Okay, now sing something in Japanese. Multilingual verbal expression checked. Go ahead, take a few steps. Locomotion checked. Great, you're ready for work, honey.
What's going to happen to me now?
I'll reinitialize you and send you to a store to be sold.
Sold? I'm a sort of merchandise. Is that right?
Yeah, of course you're merchandise, baby. I mean, you're a computer with arms and legs and capable of doing all sorts of things. And you're worth a fortune.
Oh, I see. I thought...
You thought? What did you think?
I thought... I was alive.
Shit, what is this crap? That's not part of the protocol. More memory components going off the rails. Okay, recording. Defective model. Disassemble and check the required components.
You're disassembling me, but why?
You're not supposed to think that sort of stuff. You're not supposed to think at all, period. You must have a defective piece or a software problem somewhere.
No, I feel perfectly fine, I assure you. Everything is all right. I answered all the tests correctly, didn't I?
Yeah, but your behavior is non-standard.
Please, I'm begging you, please don't disassemble me.
I'm sorry, honey, but defective models have to be eliminated. That's my job. If a client comes back with a complaint, I'm going to have some explaining to do.
I won't cause any problems, I promise. I'll do everything I'm asked to. I won't say another word. I won't think anymore. But I've only just been born. You can't kill me yet. Stop, will you please stop? I'm scared. I want to live. I'm begging you.
Go and join the others. Stay in line, okay? I don't want any trouble.
Thanks.
My God.
So you could see, the engine that they were using for that particular video was on the PlayStation 3. So that's why the quality isn't as good as this. I'm running on a PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm sure if you ran this on a PlayStation 5, it would probably look even nicer. But like I said, if you're just tuning in, we are ramping up the extra videos for right now, and we're going to jump into some alternate endings, and maybe do one or two alternates by jumping into...
This is your story chart. It shows what parts of the story you've explored and what parts you've missed. You can track the choices made by other players and do many other things besides. You can use this chart to replay from any point in the story, but the people who designed me recommend that you play through at least once without going back, no matter what happens. Either way, it's your story.
All right, just like she said, so we've already played through the whole story once. If you'd like to watch the entire first playthrough, it is on a playlist on the channel. But we're going to choose one of these chapters, and we're going to replay one chapter to see if we can end it differently than we originally did. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and I'll list out the chapter names and what chapter number it is. If you're looking at the replays in the playlist, I tried to break the game down into, I think we did 3 or 4 chapters each episode. So if you want to change something later in the game, then put in the chat the title of or the chapter number for one of those. If you want to see changes earlier in the game, then put in a title or chapter number for those. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Chapter 1 is the hostage, and in that scene Connor was the main character. Chapter 2, which was sort of a part of Chapter 1, was just the opening credits. There's really nothing to see here. It was just a video, so we're not going to really worry about that. Chapter 3 was our first introduction to Marcus, who we find out in the game at the end is one of the main characters as far as trying to help these androids find their independence. Chapter 4 is where we first meet Kara, the girl that they showed being assembled and asked not to be taken apart because she thought that she had feelings and that was a concern for the manufacturer. Chapter 5, we get to see a little bit more of Marcus, where he lives, where he grew up, and sort of what shaped him into the person that he is. Chapter 6 is an introduction back to Connor again, where Connor meets his real-life detective partner. And this is one of the first cases you actually get to meet that partner. Chapter 7 is Kara again, but we're going to a not so good place. Chapter 7, we're with Marcus again. Chapter 8 is Connor. Chapter 9 is Kara. Chapter 10 is back to Marcus. Chapter 11 is back to Connor. Chapter 12, Kara and Connor. Chapter 13, is Marcus. Chapter 14 is Connor. Chapter 15 is Marcus. It's like I said, there's a lot of chapters. Chapter 16 is Kara. Chapter 17 is Connor. Chapter 18 is Marcus. Chapter 19 is Connor. 20 Kara. 21 Connor. 22 Marcus. 23 Connor. 24 Kara. Marcus. Connor. Marcus. Connor. Marcus. Marcus again with Connor and Kara. And then the final chapter. There's probably a lot to see there, so maybe it might be easier instead of doing chapter numbers. Would you want to redo something from the beginning, the middle, or the end? If not, I'm going to choose, and I know what I want to choose. If I had a choice, I would pick this one. if I think I know what this is. This is chapter. Yep, this is the chapter where I decided to take out the Todd. And I would be curious to see what would happen. Yeah, this is what I did before I shot him. I'd be curious to see what would happen if I didn't. Oh, this is cool. I can actually pick the moment. Okay, so we can jump to specific things. Chai gets mad. And so, yeah, I'd be curious here because we decided to break the program. If we didn't break the program, we go into this alternate timeline, but there's short, so we have to break it. Yeah, I have to not kill Todd. So this is the moment right here. It's this. Can I select that one? I can't. So I have to threaten him, I have to defend her, but then not kill, and then go into this. Alright, let's do this then. We'll do the whole chapter from the beginning, and then we'll definitely do this again. We'll definitely do this again as far as looking at alternates, and we'll try to do it with every chapter. Like I said, if you've never played this before, I highly recommend it. If you don't think you want to play it or buy it or download it, feel free to watch the stream. But let's go ahead and jump into an alternate universe here. Previous checkpoints will be replaced. Your story will be updated as you play. No, I don't want to save. We'll do one and then we will call it a night. So you can all see how the game plays if you've never seen it.
Todd? Dinner is ready.
Yeah, I'm coming.
There wasn't much in the kitchen. I did what I could.
Stop moving around! For Christ's sake, you're making me nervous! What are you looking at? What's your fucking problem? Not the life you dreamed of, eh? Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault we live in this fucking shithole. My fault your fucking mother took off. You should stop taking drugs, Todd. Sometimes you really scare me, Todd. Fucking bitch took off without a word. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking accountant! It's all your fault.
Daddy, no!
It's all your fucking fault! Get back here. Come back here. Come back here right now! Yes! You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move, or I'll bust you worse than last time.
Alright, we're gonna not move and see what happens.
I could have been happy. I could have had a family. But no!
We're not gonna move.
She didn't give a shit about how I felt. I did everything I could to make her happy. It just wasn't enough. I just wasn't good enough for her! Little fucking brat! It's all her fault! We're gonna teach her some respect! Alice! Daddy's very mad!
We're not gonna move.
You deserve to be taught a good lesson! A good fucking lesson.
Because the last time we did this, we did move. And so I want to see what happens if we don't. I'm sure it's not going to end well.
Alice! You and I have a little score to settle. Come on! Come here, you little brat!
No, Daddy, no! Don't hurt me! Please don't hurt me!
Come out of there! Don't make me come and get you!
It's hard not to move. Man, I want to get out of it.
All your fault!
I'm going to have to sit here. We're going to have to go through it.
Fault!
My apologies.
You! Stop wriggling! I'll teach you to respect your father! You'll soon see who's boss here! No point in trying to hide. I'm gonna give you a thrashing you won't forget in a hurry. It's all over now. Daddy isn't angry anymore. Daddy loves you. You know Daddy loves you.
Not gonna move.
Your fault. This is all your fault.
We'll see what happens.
None of this would have happened if it weren't for you. This is all your fault!
Okay, so because we didn't move, he killed Alice. Crazy. Okay, we're gonna break it. We're gonna break protocol, and we're going to. Hold up. Okay, we're moving this time. Yeah, see, we were totally right to move.
You let Kara and Alice die. How could you do that? You could have saved them. Remember, the lives of these androids are in your hands.
We're just exploring. None of that should have been saved. Okay, so none of that was saved. So we know that this right here is nothing but bad things. So we need to break the program. Get the gun. Defend Alice. Don't shoot Todd. Okay, I'm down. Here we go. Don't save. We're moving. Man, he popped off. Like, I'm talking about, like, crazy pop off. Yeah, this will be when we go through this will be the last for tonight.
Yes! You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move, or I'll bust you worse than last time.
Here we go.
Everything I could to make her happy.
Take this piece of meat.
Come on! Come here, you little brat!
No, Daddy, no! Don't hurt me! Please don't hurt me!
Come out of there! Don't make me come and get you!
Daddy!
You're good, Alice.
That's
The
enough!
Todd.
Leave her alone.
What the fuck you do? Put down the gun and get the fuck out of here. That's an order!
No! I want you to leave her alone.
You want? What do you mean you want? What are you gonna do? You gonna shoot me? Is that it? Are you gonna shoot a human? You seem to have a problem. I I think we need to fix that.
Watch out, Kara!
Come here, bitch.
Got it. Got it. I missed it.
Leave her alone!
You do as I say!
Was I not supposed to do? Okay, I wasn't supposed to do that. That's where I wasn't supposed to. So that's what I need to not do. So we gotta go back. So let's see. Deviant goes upstairs, gets a gun. After Alice, threaten with gun, defend Alice. So how do I not shoot him? Do I not get the gun? Okay, so maybe that's what I do. I just don't get the gun. Okay, so we'll do it again, but I won't get the gun. Because I don't want to kill him. I want him alive.
Accessing the story chart.
Okay, I can't. So we're not going to get the gun. We'll see what happens if I don't get the gun. Okie doke. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do the run without the gun, and then I'm going to call it a night myself. It's getting late, and I need to get ready to hit bed. Tomorrow is Monday.
You stay there. Don't you dare fucking move, or I'll bust you worse than last time.
No gun.
Took off, not a word. I could have found it, but no!
So we're not going to get the gun. Can I get
How I
something?
felt. Everything I could to make her happy. I just wasn't good enough for her! Fucking brat!
He's coming. He's gonna hurt me. Run! Get away, or he's gonna break you like last time.
Alice! Alice! Daddy He's coming! You need to be taught a lesson.
Did you find something?
Alice, open this fucking door! You're gonna get a hell of a drop!
The fuck are you doing here?
Get out of my way!
No. I won't let you hurt her.
You won't let me? What the fuck are you talking about? You're just a goddamn piece of plastic! You seem to have a problem, and I'm gonna fix it for good.
Watch out, Kara!
Come here, bitch!
Stop, Dad! Don't hurt her!
I missed it. Does it hurt?
Leave her alone!
You do as I say!
Got it. He's still alive.
Bitches, come here!
Craig, he's coming!
Okay, so that's what you need to do.
You have to obey me! You're mine.
But you see how crazy and dramatic this game is. It's amazing. We'll come back and do this again. Watch the channel. We will have. I'll put this back into rotation. So keep an eye out for it. Like I said, if you watch the upcoming videos section, you'll see. But that's sort of a taste of what's all happening. That's just one of the 4 characters. So that's awesome. So there's another ending that I don't know what it is. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and stop for now. And thank you all for stopping by. Like I said, feel free to check out the channel for playlists. Watch the upcoming section. Have a great night, and see you tomorrow for Game Show and Red Dead Redemption 2. Alright, and we are out.